second decent one of the day already. Going right back in. And he is puking up snail shells. He threw up 3 of them. This is one of them. That is pretty crazy. That's probably the first I've seen of that. So besides those first 2 fish there, which were on my normal grub tail, just because that's what I had tied on, we are spending some time and actually putting some hammer down on some fish on the flying tube. Now this is 3.375, I think, or 3.5 inch snack size, as they call it. I'm working on a bigger version, like a 6 inch, I think. But this has wings on it. So when you snap this thing down there, it jolts all over the place. And it's also a good run to the surface bait. So this is available at benditfish.com along with the jig. People don't seem to be buying tube jigs from me. And the reason for that is most people buy tube jigs and they look like this. These are casting tube jigs, right? So this is going to bounce on the bottom like this. This is a leveled tube jig. So how it's got the same amount of weight, almost the same amount of weight in the front as it does in the back. So this actually sits parallel to the bottom of the lake, which is key on bait profile. Also, a lot of these things are tight to fit in my other tube jigs because they're a different mold. So make sure you just dip both of these in the water. They're non-lead, so you can actually lick it if you want to, but I don't do that. It's kind of weird. Dip them in the water, that'll slide in there nice and easy. And this is pure chartreuse. And with the tube jig, with the flying tube, you got to make sure you rig it as straight as you can. And since I don't feel like stabbing myself, I grab a hold of that shank with my hook there, with my pliers, and make sure that thing's centered in there wing-wise, otherwise you'll get a lot of line twist. Push that to the front, and then break the heavy-duty plastic right there. Let's see if the Lakers want it. Trim your tag, leave the tag in your boat, throw it in the trash, especially if you're using fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon never degrades, unlike mono, which degrades over like probably 5 years or so. Throw that in there, and we'll drop it down the bottom. Now this will sink a little bit slower than your normal other jig because it is spiraling on the way down, and that will help you on those downward hook sets. Sometimes lake trout want to chase something straight down like super fast. Sometimes they want that nonchalant approach, which is kind of what we're doing here. This morning they seem okay, so we'll see what mood they're in on Sebago Lake. And normally I say, guys, don't snap your jig, but in this case, I want you, when it gets tight, snap it. Tight, snap it. The thing does not sink fast at all. It's got that nice little drift flutter down to it. Fully prepared to just hook up on one of those snaps, which is the plan for snap jigging these wing tubes. Got him! Got him! Tankosaurus too. Super pretty redfin. Super pretty redfin, guys. I mean, absolutely gorgeous fish. Look at the redfins on that one. Pinned him right in the top of the mouth on that one, just barely hooked. Barely hooked. There's another one down there. That's number 3 for the day. That was a nice fish, guys. Beautiful. So I forgot to ask this question earlier, but I want to know where you guys are from. Where are you watching this video from? Because I get orders from New Jersey, Montana, Utah. I've got orders from Alaska, Tennessee. Did you guys know that there's lake trout in Tennessee? Did not know that. I actually asked the customer, I'm like, you know these are for lake trout, right? They're like, yeah, we have lake trout. Did not know that. And I want to fish a couple new lakes this year. So I want to fish Lake George this year, which is over in New York. If you have an in or you know any intel about Lake George that you're willing to share with me, just even a boat launch and like what the procedure is down there. I know the guys have some invasive species washing and stuff like that. Shoot me a DM in either Instagram or here or my email below. And I also want to fish in New Jersey this year. So hit me up if you guys have any intel down there on either one of those lakes, because I get a lot of orders from those areas and I want to fish them. I want to fish them with you guys, kind of, you know? Oh, here he comes. Hot, 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 hot. Got him. Got him. snapping that tube down there. Another Sebago chunk, folks. Look at that guy. Them teeth. Going back in. Oh, here comes one. Here comes one. Got him. Yes. That's a bigger fish. Oh yeah, cool underwater shot. Be better if I had a GoPro under the water. Oh, this poor fish is tangled in somebody else's line. Or I hooked his line or something. Yeah, I just took the line off that fish. Another beauty. Another beauty. Going right back in. They are loving the flying tube, folks. So that's the aqua view footage, guys, of the flying tube. And I'm just doing light taps there. And it's darting all over the place with a 3/4 ounce. Now, if you can find a 1 ounce jig in that size, I don't have a mold for one right now. That'd probably be a little bit better. Sink a little bit faster. Oh yeah, he sees me. Got him. I surprised him on that one. He T-boned it. Got him there in that last second. Actually, fish is a chunk. A chunk, guys, I say. And if you guys could feel what I'm feeling in my rod, I'm feeling tick, 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 tick. Like that's what it sounds like. That's what it feels like to me. That's the line raking against their teeth. I'm going to cut my line and retie. There's no sense of wasting a nice jig on a lake trout because you didn't retie. He's bleeding a little bit, but there he is, fatso, going right back in. These fish love the dead stick technique. Just literally leave it right off bottom until you see a fish come up and then running away from them. That flying tube just has that extra little action on the way down to get those finicky fish that only want to bite something that's dead and it's falling down. I'm just gonna pound bottom here for a second. See if any fish come in. Oh my goodness. Oh, come back for it. Oh, come back for it again. Oh, small, super small. Come on. hit it 9 times. Oh, there he is, right below the boat. There he is. Come here. That was sick seeing that on aqua view. Let's see if I can get him to come up again. That was sick. That was cool. That was sweet. That was super sweet. Rarely do you get to see them come to the surface like that. They will come to the surface a lot more often when it's cloudy like this. Got him. Oh, I was trying to look for that salmon that just rose on the surface over there. Give him the juice, folks. This rod has a little bit more backbone than my Expride. So I put a little bit more pressure on him because it doesn't have that super parabolic bend that the Expride does. Decent one. These fish are well fed, guys. Well fed Lakers. What are you doing, crazy man? Hook's already out. It's number 9, I think. Going back in. Didn't have to move much. Making that micro move makes a huge difference a lot of times. It's surprising how much of a difference it can make. We got 3 right underneath me. And I got one that's come up a couple of times to it but won't commit. See if he wants to commit this time. No, but his buddy sees it. Oh yeah, slingshot engage. And what I tell clients is just keep reeling. Don't try to set the hook. Don't try to set the hook until the rod loads. Beautiful fish, guys, beautiful. Let me tell you, there's a nice 26er right there, long and lean though. Not that well fed, but that's okay. Beauty, going right back down. So that's exactly 10 Lakers, actually 9 Lakers on the wing tube. You can find these on benditfish.com along with the balanced tube jigs. They make a huge difference on how this thing flies. You could probably get a 1 ounce one if you can get one in there. We just don't have a 1 ounce mold right now, but it is a beast and they absolutely love it. And it has that small little spiral on the way down for fish that are super, I don't know, finicky, that only want to hit falling baits, something that they've stunned. That's the huge difference between tubes. So if you love the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, either click here or click here. I got a whole lake trout playlist. And I'm building a lake trout how-to playlist right here. See you on one of those next videos. And visit benditfish.com.